Om Namo Narayanaya. We are continuing the chapter today about the business of a go-between. Now, go-betweens or female messengers are of the following different kinds. A go-between who takes upon herself the whole burden of the business, a go-between who does only a limited part of the business, a go-between who is the bearer of a letter only, a go-between acting on her own accord, the go-between of an innocent young woman, a wife serving as a go-between, a mute go-between, a go-between who acts the part of the wind. A woman, having observed the mutual passion of a man and a woman, brings them together and arranges it by the power of her own intellect. Such a one is called a go-between, who takes upon herself the whole burden of the business. This kind of go-between is chiefly employed when the man and woman are already acquainted with each other and have conversed together, and in such cases she is sent not only by the man, as is always done in other cases, but by the woman also. The above name is also given to a go-between who, perceiving that a man and a woman are suited to each other, tries to bring about a union between them, even though they be not acquainted with each other. A go-between who, perceiving some part of the affair is already done, or that the advances on the part of the man are already made, completes the rest of the business, is called a go-between who performs only a limited part of the business. A go-between who simply carries messages between a man and a woman who love each other, but who cannot frequently meet, is called the bearer of a letter or message. This name is also given to one who is sent by either of the lovers to acquaint either the one or the other with the time and place of their meeting. A woman who goes herself to a man and tells him of her having enjoyed sexual union with him in a dream, and expresses her anger at his wife having rebuked him for calling her by the name of her rival instead of by her own name, and gives him something bearing the marks of her teeth and nails, and informs him that she knew she was formerly desired by him, and asks him privately whether she or his wife is the best looking. Such a person is called a woman who is a go-between for herself. Now, such a woman should be met and interviewed by the man in private and secretly. The above name is also given to a woman who, having made an arrangement with some other woman to act as her go-between, gains over the man to herself by the means of making him personally acquainted with herself, and thus causes the other woman to fail. The same applies to a man who, acting as a go-between for another, and having no previous connection with a woman, gains her over for himself, and thus causes the failure of the other man. A woman who has gained the confidence of the innocent young wife of any man, and who has learned her secrets without exercising any pressure on her mind, and found out from her how her husband behaves to her, if this woman then teaches her the art of securing his favor, and decorates her so as to show her love, and instructs her how and when to be angry, or to pretend to be so, and then, having herself made the marks of the nails and teeth on the body of the wife, gets the latter to send for her husband to show these marks to him, and thus excite him for his enjoyment, such is called the go-between of an innocent young woman. When a man gets his wife to gain confidence of a woman who he wants to enjoy, and to call on her, and to talk to her about the wisdom and ability of her husband, that wife is called a wife serving as a go-between. In this case, the feelings of the woman with regard to the man should also be made known through the wife. When any man sends a girl or female servant to any woman under some pretext or other, and places a letter in her bouquet of flowers, or in her ear ornaments, or marks something about her with his teeth or nails, that girl or female servant is called a mute go-between. In this case, the man should expect an answer from the woman through the same person. A person who carries a message to a woman who has a double meaning, which relates to some past transactions, or which is unintelligible to other people, is called a go-between who acts the part of the wind. In this case, the reply should be asked for through the same woman. Thus ends the different kinds of go-betweens. A female astrologer, a female servant, a female beggar, or a female artist are well acquainted with the business of a go-between, and very soon gain confidence of other women. Any one of them can raise enmity between any two persons if she wishes to do so, or extol the loveliness of any woman that she wishes to praise, or describe the arts practiced by other women in sexual union. They can also speak highly of the love of the man, of his skill in sexual enjoyment, and the desire of other women, more beautiful even than the woman they are addressing for him, and explain the restraint under which he may be at home. Lastly, a go-between can, by the artfulness of her conversation, unite a woman with a man, even though he may not have been thought of by her, or may have been considered beyond her aspirations. She can also bring back a man to a woman who, owing to some cause or other, has separated himself from her. Thus ends this chapter.